Colorado High School Activities Association baseball is on B106 and B106.com. Today from Legion Field in Fort Morgan, it is a Colorado 7 League matchup as the Fort Morgan Mustangs host the Conifer Lobos. Welcome to our broadcast this afternoon. This is Brian Nickel. Fort Morgan comes into this game 6-3 overall. They won their last game, I believe that was on Wednesday over at Weld Central. Shut out Weld Central 11-0. A 5-inning no-hit performance by Jacob Ortega and a 2-home run, 7 RBI afternoon for Trey McBride. Conifer comes into the game 4-6. They won their last game earlier this week against Englewood by a score of 27-0. Scored 10 runs in the first inning, 9 in the second, and then 8 in the bottom of the fourth before ball game came to an end in the top of the 5th inning. But Fort Morgan finally home after a long stretch on the road, had 8 games on the road, but are now home for today. A beautiful afternoon here, as we did have to delay it a little bit because of the snow of last night. Also coming up for Fort Morgan, Fort Morgan will be at Arvada on Wednesday. John Beltran will have that game for you starting at 4 o'clock. And then on Friday, April 13th, Englewood will be here at Fort Morgan. That will also be a 4 o'clock start for the Mustangs. So a clear blue sky right now, no clouds. The managers just got done at home plate. So we should be getting ready to play ball here shortly as the Mustangs now take the field defensively. And the Fort Morgan Mustangs starting lineup is brought to you by Cargill. Cargill is committed to feeding the world in a responsible way by reducing environmental impact and continuously improving products and processes. Learn about Cargill's story of commitment at www.cargill.com. And defensively for the Fort Morgan Mustangs at first base is Trey McBride. Second base is Isaac Linker. Over at third is Austin Apple. Shortstop today is Jacob Ortega. Out in left field is, let's see who we have here for out in left field. And out in left field today we have Jimmy Keller. Center field will be J.P. Hamer, and over in right field will be Alex Ortega. So coming up first for the Conifer Lobos will be a designated hitter, designated hitter Chris Watchell. And Chris Watchell, let's see, did I give you the pitcher? The pitcher today is Bobby Tolson. Bobby Tolson, on the mound this year is a 4.53 ERA with a 1-2 record. So we're ready to play ball here at Legion Field. Tolson looks in. The opening pitch is brought to you by Ingmar Phillips Insurance. Looking to find insurance for your car, home, or even for you. And that pitch is going to be up and away for ball 1. And Watchell on the year will get the second pitch, and that is going to be, must be a little low and outside for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Watchell is batting at .321. Bobby Tolson with the pitch, and that is going to be a hit up to Linker at second, throws over to first for the out. So 1 up and 1 down, as that was grounded out to second base. So next up is Avery Fulford. He is the shortstop today for the Conifer Lobos. Fulford on the year, batting at .516. Tolson with the pitch, and that is going to be hit hard and by the third baseman as Apple was pulled in. So we'll give him a single on that one. That was a hard hit ball, and it got past Apple, so now set up for the double play. Next up is David Jacobson, second baseman for Conifer, as he looks down to get his signs from his coach down at third base. Tolson checks the runner over at first. And now the delivery has tried to be bunted, but it was fouled out of play. I don't know that Conifer will take off too much today so far that I've seen on the information that I got. They've only had 4 stolen bases in 10 games, so they don't look to run much. As we have Avery Fulford out at first, with 1 out, 1 strike here in the bottom or in the top of the first. Slight wind blowing in, going to be thrown over to first, but back in safely is Fulford. So Jacobson looks down at third base, now steps in and is ready. Tolson with the pitch, and it is going to be hit out to left field and caught out there in left field by Jimmy Keller. Nice job by Keller to retire Jacobson. Fulford had taken off. But did retreat back to first, so now 2 down. Up next is John Vota, the catcher for the Lobos. And that is going to be a swing and a miss. On a pitch a little low and away. But still strike 1, so we have no balls and 1 strike, 2 outs with a runner on here in Fort Morgan. And up and away for ball 1. Vota checked his swing. They wanted to check down it, see if he had taken a swing at it, but he did not. So 1 ball, 1 strike. Quick throw over to first once again, but back in safely is Fulford. As Trey McBride holds him on, Tolson checks his runner once again and looks in. And the delivery, and that is going to be a hard hit ball out to Keller as he ranges under it, and he gets it for the 3rd out here in the top of the first. So 1 left on, 1 hit as we go to the bottom of the first. No score on B106 and B106.com. Brian Nickel back here at Legion Field in Fort Morgan. The starting lineup for the Fort Morgan Mustangs will be J.P. Hamer, leads off in center field. Second will be Jacob Ortega, shortstop. Trey McBride will bat third. He plays first. Isaac Linker is fourth. He is at second base today. Jimmy Keller bats fifth, plays left field. Alex Ortega will be batting sixth. He is in right field. Austin Apple is batting seventh, and he will be catching today. Austin Apple will be at third, Bobby Tolson will bat eighth, and he is pitching, and Conifer Jardo is batting ninth, and he will catch. So J.P. Hamer up to the plate for the Fort Morgan Mustangs, and Hamer on the year is batting at .407. Scored 17 runs, has 11 hits, 10 RBIs. And the first pitch, and that is going to be fouled back to the fence for strike one. So Conifer sends 4 to the plate in the top of the first, but do not score. And that pitch is up over the head of J.P. Hamer. So 1 ball and 1 strike, pitching for the Lobos today is Joe Mead. Joe Mead has a 7.87 ERA, 0-1 record, and that is going to be a hard hit ball out into left field for J.P. Hamer. So a nice way for the Mustangs to start it off. So Hamer on at first base. That will bring up Jacob Ortega. And on the year for Hamer, see, I mean, he's had 7 stolen bases, so we'll see if he wants to take off and run. Jacob Ortega with a 138 batting average. We'll see if he's wanting to bunt over or if they're going to be playing long ball here. And that is going to be in there for a strike. No balls and 1 strike. J.P. Hamer on at first as Ortega gets his sign from Coach Langford down at third base. Meade looks into John Vota. He is the catcher for the Lobos. And running is Hamer, and that he is going to be in there safely.
Top with 2. Come on, Jacob.
So out at second now is Hamer with the stolen base. In scoring position for Jacob. And do have 2 strikes. As he did swing at that. Now that's going to be a hard hit ball. That's going to get through out into left field. And they're going to send Hamer to the plate, and he will be in safely. And now Ortega will take second on the throw home. So 1-0 here for the Mustangs. Yes, he gets the single. And now Ortega out at second base. So this brings up Trey McBride. McBride on the year is batting at .643 with 2 home runs. Those both came against Weld Central. So Fort Morgan with the early lead here. Meade looks in, and that is going to be a hard hit ball out into left field. That will drop in for a single, and they're going to hold Ortega, and McBride will go in to second on a double. So we'll give him a double on that play. So runners now at second and third with 1 out. Brings up Isaac Linker. So Fort Morgan doing a good job right now connecting on the ball. And that pitch is going to be inside. Ball 1. Isaac Linker on the year batting at .267. 6 RBIs. He's got 2 sitting out there for him right now. And the pitch, and that is going to be hit over the top of the pitcher, and he will be out at first, but does drive a run home. As the second baseman throws him out. So Ortega comes home. And that sends McBride over to third. So ball 1 now to Jimmy Keller. So 2-0 here, Fort Morgan. With now 2 outs. With 1 out, excuse me. And that is still a 1 ball and 1 strike count on Keller. And the pitch is going to be in there on the outside corner for strike 2. So we do have just 1 out here. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Fort Morgan has driven in two. McBride down at third base. And the pitch, and that's going to be hit out to the second baseman, and that will bring McBride home. But out at first will be Keller. As the second baseman gets the job done, but he does bring home McBride for the third run. So now 2 outs. But 3-0 Fort Morgan. And the pitch, and that is a hard hit ball down to the third baseman. Scoops it up, goes across, and that is going to be an error on the third baseman, as that was a high throw. So on at first now. Well, we have a 3-0 game here. So Alex Ortega on at first. Now throw over to first. Ortega in safely under the throw. Up at the plate now is Austin Apple. Austin Apple on the year batting at .222. So Meade with a delivery, and that pitch is in there for a strike. No balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. 3-0 Fort Morgan. Joe Meade out on the bump for Conifer. He looks in and gets the sign. And that pitch is also going to be in there for a strike to Austin Apple. The 7th batter here to get to the plate here in this bottom of the first. Ortega with a lead, and that ball is going to be hit out to the shortstop, and the throw over, and he will be out at first. But a nice job by the Mustangs as they get 3 runs in that. So after the bottom of the first, Mustangs lead at 3-0 on 3 hits with 1 error. Scored 3 runs. So we'll go to the top of the second inning with Mustangs leading 3-0 on B106 and B106.com. 3-0 Fort Morgan as we go to the top of the second inning. Coming up for Conifer will be Jackson Hale, the third baseman, and left fielder Cody Brown. And then the pitcher, Joe Meade. And if anybody gets on, it will be first baseman Arden Tabor for the Lobos. Out on the hill is Bobby Tolson. And the pitch, and that is a hard hit ball out to center field, but run down out there by J.P. Hamer. Nice job there by Hamer. Had to roll or range over to his right just a little bit, but he pulls it in for the first out here in the top of the second. Cody Brown, left fielder, now at the plate, and that is going to be fouled back over our heads. So no balls and 1 strike with 1 out here in the top of the second inning. And that pitch is going to be low and away, ball 1. So Cody Brown is batting .368 in 8 games. That pitch also low and away for ball 2, 2 balls and 1 strike. Bobby Tolson, I think I mentioned earlier, is a 4.53 ERA with a 1-2 record. And that pitch is going to be upstairs for ball 3, 3 balls and 1 strike. Now I can't locate the strike zone here on Cody Brown, the 6th batter in the lineup, second here in the top of the second. And that pitch is going to be a swing and a miss. by Cody Brown. So 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. As we play in the top of the second. And the pitch by Tolson, and that is going to be hit out to Linker. Scoots along. Now Linker drops it, gets it over to McBride, though, for the out. So nice job by Linker to stay with the ball. So 2 up, 2 down here in the top of the second. That will bring up Joe Mead, the pitcher. Joe Mead threw 16 total pitches in that bottom of the first. And that is a nice breaking pitch, but misses a little high apparently, so that'll be ball 1. And the pitch, and that is going to be outside for ball 2. So Joe Mead on the year batting at 154. Only 2 hits. And the delivery, and that is going to be outside. 3 balls and no strikes. In danger of walking his first batter of the day. And the delivery, and that is going to be low and away. Ball 4 for the walk. So that will bring up Arden Tabor, first baseman for the Lobos. Now it looks like we're going to have a courtesy runner for Joe Mead. And that will be Alex Ainsworth now running for Joe Mead. Throw ahead of a 1 ball and no strike count here, and that pitch is going to be in there for a strike. So had 5 straight balls by Tolson, then found the plate here for Arden Tabor. And the delivery, and that is going to be outside and low, ball 2, 2 balls and 1 strike. Tabor's batting at 200 in 9 games. So Ainsworth with a lead out there off of first, and the delivery, and that is going to be a big swing and a miss. 4 strike 2, 2 balls, 2 strikes to Arden Tabor. Bobby Tolson's going to take a minute and retie his shoe. But not much of a wind here today. A little breeze blowing in now. It had been blowing from left to right. As Tolson steps off the rubber once again. Now gets ready to get set and checks his runner over at first. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 3-2 in the second. And that ball is going to be squibbed foul down the first base line. So the count remains at 2-2. With the Mustangs leading it here 3-0 as they put 3 on the board in the bottom of the first. On 3 hits. Tolson with the sign, now the delivery, and that is going to be a swing and a miss, strike 3. And that will be the end of the top of the second inning as the Mustangs lead it 3-2 on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. Bobby Tolson coming up to bat here for the Mustangs in the bottom of the second inning as the Mustangs lead it 3-0. In the top of the second inning, there was no runs on no hits, no errors, and they did leave 1 on. So Bobby Tolson, the number 8 hitter, so we'll go 8, 9, and 1. And that pitch is in there for a strike. And the delivery, and that is going to be a swing and a miss. Strike 2, no balls and 2 strikes to Bobby Tolson. Tolson batting at .071 in 8 games. And the pitch and the hit is going to be hit out to the first baseman, and ball is going to be away. Let's see what they're going to do here. They keep throwing the ball around, but Tolson does end up at first. So he will be safe at first, but an error on the first baseman as he tries to hit the pitcher covering over at first. So Bobby Tolson at first. That brings up Conifer, the catcher for the Mustangs. Nice bunt down the third base line. Picked up by the pitcher and thrown over to first, but in time is Conifer. A beautiful bunt. Excuse me. So that will now bring up the top of the order once again. And that will be J.P. Hamer. J.P. Hamer up at the plate, and that first pitch is in there for a strike. So 2 on with no outs. 1 strike on Hamer. And the pitch, and that is going to be a swing and a miss, strike 2. As the runners get their leads out at first and second, Tolson and Fajardo, and that pitch is going to be fouled away. Still no balls and 2 strikes. Bobby Tolson stands out at second. Connor Fajardo at first. Runner, the pitcher, delivery, and that is going to be fouled out across West Street. Count still remains 0-2. Hamer did have a single in his first attempt today, so he is 1 for 1. Tolson scoots back into second base. Nobody there covering, but he does get back. And the pitch, and that is going to get by the catcher. That's going to be a pass ball. So now we have runners at second and third. With 1 ball and 2 strikes on Hamer. So 2 RBIs sitting here for Hamer. That pitch is going to be up. 2 balls and 2 strikes. As we play in the bottom of the second, 3-0 Fort Morgan. As they plated 3 in the bottom of the first on 3 hits, and the delivery, and that is going to be up and away also. So now 3 balls and 2 strikes on the number 1 hitter, J.P. Hamer. Bats in from the right side. Joe Meade looks in, and now the delivery, and that is going to be fouled back to the screen. Nice rip there, but fouls it back to the screen. He stays alive at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Runners at second and third. Fajardo out at second. Bobby Tolson at third. And the pitch, and that is going to be golfed out into left field. And it's going to be dropped, I believe, out there in left field. As the left fielder came running in but could not quite get to it. So on that, we'll give him a We'll give him a single on that. He ran a long way to try to get that, but didn't quite come up with it. So that moved Fajardo over to third. Hamer on at first. So 4-0 Fort Morgan as they put another run on the board here in the bottom of the second. Jacob Ortega now at the plate, 1-for-1 with a single in the first, and that pitch is going to be straight back to the fence. So no balls and 1 strike. So Hamer on at first, Fajardo on at third. Still no outs here in the bottom of the second. Jacob Ortega, and now the throw over to first. That was close, but in under the slide was Hamer. Or in under the tag, was Hamer. So Joe Meade now at 30 total pitches as we play here in the bottom of the second inning. Going to throw over to first once again, but sliding in safely under the throw is Hamer. Hamer does have 7 stolen bases, so they're trying to keep him close. So Jacob Ortega waits, and that is going to be chopped foul down the third base line. So no balls and 2 strikes on the number 2 hitter, Jacob Ortega. Trey McBride on deck, Isaac Linker in the hole. And now Joe Meade gets his sign from John Vota. Checks Hamer over at first. And the delivery, and that is going to be inside, and on the steal will be J.P. Hamer with no throw. So now we have 2 men in scoring position for Ortega. Hamer now at second, Fajardo out at third. Joe Meade with a delivery, and that is going to be a hard hit ball down to third base. They're going to try to come home, and he's going to slide in safely is Fajardo. So now 5-0 Fort Morgan. So that will put now J.P. Hamer at third, Ortega at first. Still no outs, 5-0 Fort Morgan. With Trey McBride up at the plate. And see if they want to pitch to him, and they're going to throw down to second base, and it looks like, oh, I thought shortstop cut across in front of the second baseman, so Jacob Ortega will be safe at second on the stolen base. Had me fooled. I thought the second baseman had the ball and they were going to call him out, but the shortstop cut across in front of him, and Ortega is safe. So that ball is going to be chopped foul down the third base line. And that first pitch to McBride was a strike, so now no balls and 2 strikes. To the number 3 hitter, Trey McBride, 2 home runs this year. And the pitch and the delivery, and that is going to be a swing and a miss. Strike 3 for the first out here in the bottom of the second inning. That ball looked like it was tailing away low and outside. McBride thought he was going to be able to get to it, but was just a little out of his reach. Up next is Isaac Linker, second baseman, and that pitch is going to be low and away. For ball 1, 5-0 Fort Morgan as we play here in the bottom of 2. 1 ball and no strike, and that ball is going to get by the catcher and going to slide in safely at home will be J.P. Hamer. And that's going to go as a wild pitch. And that will send That will send Jacob Ortega also over to third. And the pitch, and that was low and outside. So that is now 3 balls. Three balls and no strikes on Isaac Linker. He was 0 for 1. He grounded out his first time up today. Now Meade is going to step off. So now 6-0. Fort Morgan. Maybe a short game here today unless Conifer starts putting the bat to the ball. And that ball is in there for a strike. 3 balls and 1 strike. As Linker stands in there, right-handed batter. Joe Meade now with the delivery, and that is going to be hit out to the shortstop, picks it up and throws across and out at first, but did drive in a run. So the Mustangs now lead at 7-0. And the delivery, and that is going to be inside to Jimmy Keller. He is 0 for 1. He also grounded out. His first time up. So Meade with the delivery, and that is going to be a swing and a miss. It should be 1 ball and 1 strike. They have 2 strikes. They must have called that first one a strike. And the pitch, and that is going to be in there for a ball. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 out here in the bottom of the second, with the Mustangs leading now 7-0. As they've plated 4 here in the bottom of the second. And now a hard hit ball. And that is going to be a foul ball, just barely. Down the third base line. That was close. So Jimmy Keller stays alive. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 2 out, and the delivery, and that is going to be a flare down the right field line, and that will land in there for a, he's going to try for 2, and he will get in there as the ball was cut off by the second baseman. So a double for Keller on that flare down the right field line. So that will bring up Alex Ortega. He is 0 for 1. He reached on an error. His first trip to the plate. So Alex Ortega on the year is batting at .211. RBI sitting out there for him at second. That ball is upstairs. 1 ball and no strikes now to Alex Ortega. But Jimmy Keller out at second after the double. And that is going to be a foul ball down the left field line, out of play. It's now 1 ball and 1 strike to Ortega. Mustangs have plated 4 here in the bottom of the second with a 7-0 lead. Meade checks the runner, now the delivery. Now it's going to be a swing and a miss. Strike 2, 1 ball and 2 strikes now on Ortega. Ortega has 4 hits on the year, 4 RBIs. He's got 1 sitting out there, waiting for him out there at second. And the pitch, and that is going to be a swing and a miss, strike 3. But the Mustangs put 4 across. As they score 4 runs on 4 hits, 1 error and 1 left on, we go to the top of the third. The Mustangs lead at 7-0 on B106 and B106.com. 7-0 Fort Morgan as we go to the top of the third inning. Mustangs send 4 across the plate in the bottom of the second. And we will see if they have a Daniel Betch is up. I don't know if they were going to change some players. Maybe we will have Chris Watchell. The DH will be up next, then Avery Fulford. I don't believe Fort Morgan made any changes. McBride's still at first with Linker at second. Jacob Ortega at third and Austin Apple out at third, and that is going to be hit to Apple. Nice job as he plays in. Throw over. Beautiful play there by Austin Apple to get the runner. Daniel Betch. That will bring up Chris Watchell. As he is 0 for 1, he grounded out. His first time up, Bobby Tolson with 27 total pitches as we go to in the top of the third here. So nice job today by Bobby Tolson, and that pitch is going to be inside. He is 13 balls and 15 strikes. But with the 7-0 lead, and that pitch is going to be upstairs also. 2 balls and no strikes. To the number 1 hitter, Chris Watchell. He is DHing today. For Conifer, and that pitch is going to be hit right back up the middle, right over the second base, but nice try out there by Ortega to stretch out and try to get it, but did not quite come up with it. So Watchell is on for Conifer. Now Avery Fulford, he is 1 for 1 with a single his first time up. So 1 out here in the top of the third. Watchell, that ball is going to be hit out to center field. Let's see if they can run it down. Nice job out there. Beautiful catch out there by J.P. Hamer to run that down as he slides for it, and that holds the runner at first. Beautiful play out there by J.P. Hamer. As that ball was hit fairly deep to right center field, as he was playing over into left center field, but now with 2 outs, we have David Jacobson at the plate. And that first pitch misses for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes to the number 3 hitter, David Jacobson. And that pitch is going to be upstairs. 2 balls and no strikes. So Chris Watchell still at first. Watchell with 2 stolen bases this year. He's only one of a couple that has stolen bases for Conifer. That pitch is going to be in there for a strike. So 2 balls and 1 strike as we play here in the top of the third. 7-0 Mustangs. Bobby Tolson on the hill, and that is going to be fouled. Hits the light pole down the right field line. So that evens the count at 2-2. With 2 outs here in the top of the third. So we'll see if Bobby Tolson can throw him a dark one, see if he'll go fishing, and that is going to be hit out to Tolson, and he throws to McBride for the out. So nice job by Bobby Tolson. As we now go to the bottom of the third inning, they have 1 left on with 1 hit. Mustangs lead at 7-0 on B106 and B106.com. Back here at Legion Field in Fort Morgan, the Mustangs will come up in the bottom of the third, leading 7-0. And Joe Meade still on the hill for the Conifer Lobos. Trying to see if Conifer has anybody in any different places. It's kind of tough to see sometime, but up to the plate for the Mustangs is Austin Apple. He is 0 for 1 with a ground out. Joe Meade at 49 pitches as we play in the bottom of the third, and that pitch is going to be in the dirt for ball 1. Apple showed that he was going to bunt at bunt, but did pull the bat back in time, so it was a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. Mead with the delivery, and that is going to be a swing and a miss. Pitch was low and away for Apple, so 1 ball and 1 strike. Bottom of the third. Bobby Tolson and then Connor Fajardo. And that will be strike 2, but the catcher thought that was strike 3, and he threw it down to the third baseman, but only 2 strikes as the umpire pats him on the back. And the pitch, and that is going to be well outside. Now it will be a strikeout. Swinging. So 1 out now here in the bottom of the third inning. Bobby Tolson 0 for 1. He reached on an error. As he stands now in on the right side. Joe Mead, and that ball is going to be fouled at the plate. Joe Mead, I was going to say, with the delivery. But no balls and 1 strike on Tolson. Mead with the delivery, and he was going to bunt at that, but pulled it back low and outside. So 1 ball and 1 strike. On Bobby Tolson, and that pitch is also going to be outside. Skips by the catcher, but nothing hurt. Northeastern, live in your world, learn in ours. For more information about Northeastern or classes available to you, go to www.njc.edu. So Mead with the sign and the delivery, and that is going to be in tight for the ball. 3 balls and 1 strike on Bobby Tolson. Mead with the delivery, and that is going to be also in for ball 4 for the walk. So once again, the Mustangs in the third time in a row here do have runners on. It looks like we're going to have a pinch runner, and that will be Dylan Woods. Will be the courtesy runner. Out there for Bobby Tolson. Since Tolson is pitching, they'll let him sit on the bench and not get tired or wore out. And the first pitch is going to be in there for a strike to Connor Fajardo. He is 1 for 1. He reached on a bunt his first time up. So we'll see if Dylan Woods has a tendency to take off. Does not have any steals this year, and that pitch is going to be fouled at the plate. Woods was taken off. I think it was more of a hit and run, not a straight steal. So Woods will come back to first. As Coach Langford gives the signs to the runner and batter here. Now it's going to be throw over, but in safely is Woods. No balls and 2 strikes on Connor Fajardo. Mead takes a look over at first. Now comes to the set and the delivery, and that is going to be a chop ball to the third baseman. Didn't think he'd come up with it, but that is going to be an error on the first baseman, as the third baseman got it to the first baseman in time, but did not hold on to the ball. And that sent Woods over to third. So now runners at the corners with Fajardo and Dylan Woods, and up now is J.P. Hamer for the third time. He is 2 for 2 with two singles. Now we're going to call time at the plate for Hamer. So 1 out, another chance here for an RBI for Hamer. Yes, they do have a runner at third in Dylan Woods, and the pitch, and that is going to hit Hamer. So that will now load the bases. So that will bring up Jacob Ortega. As they look down and get the signs from Coach Langford. So now the bases loaded with 1 out here in the bottom of the third, with the Mustangs leading at 7-0. And the pitch, and that is going to be off the glove of the catcher. And coming home will be Woods. And the other two will also advance. So Woods will come home. On the pass ball. And Hamer will go to second. So now, I think, there we go. They got the score. They put too many runs up there. It's only 8-0 here. Fort Morgan, and they were going to have a straight steal. And coming home, a nice bunt there by Ortega, as that will bring home Connor Fajardo. But a nice sacrifice bunt there. To get that run in, now making it 9-0. So Hamer now at third. So McBride with a hard hit ball, and that will be an RBI for Trey McBride. As he gets that ball into play. Single out to left field. So now that does make it 10-0 now. Fort Morgan as we play here in the bottom of the third. McBride at first. That's going to be hit out to the first baseman. Drops it a minute, but he will step on the bag for the third out. But the Mustangs plate 3. To lead it now 10-0. So in the bottom of the third, you got 3 runs on 1 hit, 1 error, and 1 left. So 10-0 Fort Morgan as we go to the top of the fourth on B106 and B106.com. Brian Nickel here at Legion Field in Fort Morgan. The Mustangs now lead at 10-0 as we go to the top of the fourth. As the Mustangs plated 3 there in the bottom of the third inning. And this will bring up John Votaw. He will be followed by Jackson Hale and Cody Brown. As the coach gets set down at third base for the Lobos. So Bobby Tolson with 36 total pitches through 3 innings. Nice job here today by Tolson. 16 balls, 20 strikes. And the pitch, and that is going to be hit out to the shortstop. Nice job out there by Ortega. Throw across, and out number 1 here in the top of the fourth inning. So that will now bring up Jackson Hale, third baseman. He is 0 for 1 on a fly out, his first trip to the plate. And it looks like they may have a different batter here coming up after Cody Brown. Looks like it will be, get the number here. It will be Alex Ainsworth coming in. And that ball is a line out to the shortstop. So line drive right to the shortstop for out number 2. And now batting will be Ainsworth. So Alex Ainsworth now, we'll see where he goes out and plays out in the field when he comes back. But 2 out here in the top of the 4th. That ball is going to be well outside. 1 ball with no strikes. And that ball is going to be inside. 2 balls and no strikes. So 40 pitches total now here for Bobby Tolson. As he pitches to Alex Ainsworth, and that is going to be a single out to left field. As Jimmy Keller gets it back in, and now up will be Joe Meade, the pitcher. So 2 outs as we play here, top of 4, 10-0 Fort Morgan. As Alex Ainsworth with the single to left. Joe Meade walked his first time up, so he is 0 for 0. And that is going to be upstairs for ball 1. So Alex Ainsworth, I believe, will be playing left field. And that pitch is going to be fouled back to the screen. 1 ball and 1 strike. Central Auto Parts, you need your vehicle and farm equipment to be in top shape. So make sure you take care of them by purchasing the best quality parts at great prices at your local Napa store. Central Auto Parts in Fort Morgan. And the pitch, and that is going to be a swing and a miss. So 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 outs. 10-0 Fort Morgan, top of the 4th. On a beautiful sunny afternoon here in Fort Morgan. And Tolson's going to step off the rubber, and that will send Ainsworth back to first. Now he gets his 3 or 4 step lead. Now they're going to throw over. Back in safely is Ainsworth. As Joe Meade stands at the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bobby Tolson with the pitch, and that is going to be a swing and a miss, but they're going to throw to first for the out. So nice job there by the Mustangs to get that 3rd out. In the bottom of 4 with no runs on 1 hit, 1 left. We go to the the bottom of the 4th inning with the Mustangs leading at 10-0 on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. 10-0 as we play here in the bottom of the 4th. I'm trying to see where I believe Ainsworth is in left, in center field. See, they have in center field, and that is still Mooney out in center field. So center field is James Mooney. Left field will be Alex Ainsworth. So the first pitch to Jimmy Keller is a strike. And that one is low and away. Ball 1, 1 ball and 1 strike. So Alex Ainsworth is in at left field. And that is James Mooney out in center field. James Mooney does not bat. He is being designated, he is being hit by Chris Watchell. So 2-2 the count here to Jimmy Keller, and that is going to be nubbed up the first base line. And safe. He outruns that single down to, it's just an infield hit, but just placed just right. So now Alex Ortega up to the plate. He is 0 for 2, had an error, and then went down swinging on his second attempt. And I believe we have a pinch runner out at first. I did not see who went out there to run, though. Let's see who that is. But up to bat, up to bat will be Felix Ortega. So Felix Ortega, and that is a hard hit ball just down to the third baseman. Long throw across, and it is in time. Nice job over there by Jackson Hale, as he grounds out to third. So Jimmy Keller, well, it's not Jimmy Keller. I'm trying to see who it is that is out there running. Can't see who it is for sure, but that is going to be a ball one. So we'll see, we can see who is out at second base. Can't tell for sure. And that is going to be inside, ball two. Out at second base is Castaneda for the courtesy runner. Nick Castaneda running for Keller. So we have 3 balls and no strikes now on Austin Apple. And that is in there for a strike. So 3 balls and 1 strike to Austin Apple, and that pitch is going to be ball 4. And a walk. Actually, that is going to be Devin Mussman. If I can. So Devin Mussman into the game, and swing and a miss here by Bobby Tolson. So no balls and 1 strike. With Mussman at first, Nick Castaneda at second. Nick Castaneda is a courtesy runner. Devin Mussman did get the walk. And that is going to be well inside. 4 ball 1, 1 ball and 1 strike. 10-0 here, Mustangs. As we play in the bottom of the 4th. Runners get their leads. Meade, and that ball is going to be fisted foul down to Coach Langford down at third base. And we have the 310 train headed east. Going back for another load of coal. And that is going to be a hard hit ball. Takes a big bounce. They're going to try to go to second. They do get the out at second. Fielder's choice here by the Mustangs. So that sent so Mussman is out at second. So now Castaneda at third and Bobby Tolson out at first. And now at the plate is Connor Fajardo. He has 1 for 2, reached on a bunt and then on an error. So still 10-0 here with 2 outs as we have 1 ball and no strikes. That will be 2 balls as that is low and away. Skips away from the catcher but not very far. So Mustangs score in their first 3 innings, 3 in the first, 4 in the second, 3 in the third for the 10-0 lead. And that ball is going to be fisted out. I believe it's going to get over the head of the first baseman, and does. And that will bring in run number 11. And that is a single out to right field. And that advanced the runner to third. That is Bobby Tolson out at third. Conifer Jardo out at first. And J.P. Hamer at the plate. He is 2 for 2. Two singles and hit by a pitch. And that is going to be a swing and a miss by Hamer. So 11-0 here. Fort Morgan as we play in the bottom of the fourth. So now the Conifer will have to score at least 2 to continue on after the top of the fifth. That is a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. As Meade is at 85 total pitches. Bobby Tolson is at 45 through his 4 innings. Meade with the delivery, and that is going to be in there for a strike. A low strike, but in there. So Fajardo at first, Bobby Tolson at third. J.P. Hamer at the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Meade with the delivery, and that is going to be a hard hit ball. Fair. Nope, that's going to be foul. Excuse me. I thought he was showing that to be a fair ball, but a foul ball down the third base line. Bobby Tolson had to jump out of the way of that one so he wouldn't be called out by the hit. That's why you run in fair territory, or in foul territory, excuse me. And the delivery, and that is going to be low and away. Ball 2, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 11-0 Fort Morgan as we play in the bottom of the fourth. Meade looks in to Votaw for his sign, checks his runners, and now the delivery, and that is going to be up and away. Ball 3. Coming up in the top of the fifth will be Arden Tabor, Daniel Betch, and Chris Watchell. But still playing here in the bottom of the fourth with a runner at third, 1 at first, and that ball is going to be chopped foul once again down the third base line. As we continue to count at 3 balls and 2 strikes. And Meade checks his runners. Now the delivery, and that is going to be a hard hit ball to the third baseman. Nice job down on the third baseman. Let's see if he pulled him off. They're going to say he's safe. It was not a good throw. By the third baseman. As that sent home the 12th run of the game. So now runners at first and second, and that is going to be a hit ball right over out to the second baseman, and he will step on the plate, or on the base for the third out. But in the bottom of the fourth inning, we had 2 runs on 2 hits, 1 error, and 2 left on, and the Mustangs lead at 12-0 on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. Okay, Jimmy Keller now out on the mound. We'll see who is. Linker will now be over at short. And we'll see who is at second base. That, get these numbers here right. So now out at second base, now will be Devin Mussman. And over at first base, so we have over at first Changing it up here. I believe that's Nick Norris now at first. And that first pitch misses for a ball. And this is Arden Tabor in the box for Conifer. And that curveball is in there for a strike. Nice pitch there by Jimmy Keller. Now it looks like we have ball misses. Jacob Ortega now at third. And the pitch, and that is going to be fouled off to the right. And it looks like we have a new left fielder. And that will be Felix Ortega out in left. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. I think we have everybody here now. 2 balls and 2 strikes. That ball is going to be hit out to the third baseman and over to first for the out. So round out to third by Jacob Ortega. He scoops it up and throws it over to Nick Norris for the out. So 2 outs away here from ending this game as the Mustangs lead at 12-0, and that ball is going to be popped up. It's going to go out. See who's going to call for it. Out to the second baseman, Devin Mussman. So now 1 out away. On that pop-up, so now up will be, number 5. That will be James Mooney. Now batting for Chris Watchell. And Keller with the pitch, and that is up and away for ball 1. So 12-0 as we play here in the top of the 5th. Been an hour and 16 minutes. And that curveball is in there for a strike. Nice pitch there by Jimmy Keller. So 1 ball and 1 strike. To James Mooney, his first appearance at the plate, and that is going to be a foul ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. So Conifer down to their last pitch here. So the Mustangs will improve to 7-3. The Conifer will go to 4-7. And that is going to be a single right up the middle. Nice hit there as he sent that one out to center field. That will bring up Avery Fulford. He is 1 for 2, a single and a fly out. So now at first is James Mooney. As I said, 1 for 2, a single and a fly out for Avery Fulford. Jimmy Keller on the hill right now, and that is going to be hit out. Oh, nice job there by Mussman, and the throw to Nick Norris for the put out. So that will bring this game to an end as the Mustangs win it 12-0. We will be back with the post-game show in 2 minutes on B106 and B106.com. The Fort Morgan Mustangs post-game show is brought to you by Morgan Community College. Find out why Morgan Community College is the best choice for your higher education. Visit MCC online at www.morgancc.edu or stop by the campus for a personal advising session. MCC, here to help you imagine your possibilities, believe in yourself, and achieve your goals. Well, nice game here this afternoon by the Mustangs, and a nice job on the hill by Bobby Tolson. As he gets the win, as the Mustangs win it 12-0. They played 3 in the first, 4 in the second, 3 in the third, and then you get 2 in the bottom of the fourth for the 12-0 win. The line for the Lobos is no runs on 4 hits, 4 errors, and 5 left. These are all unofficial, of course. Fort Morgan with 12 runs, 10 hits, no errors, and 5 left on. For the Mustangs, they got in that first inning. They got 3 runs on 3 hits, 4 runs on 4 hits in that second inning. In the third inning, you got 3 runs on 1 hit, and then 2 runs on 2 hits in that fourth inning. But a nice job by Bobby Tolson today as he went, he had 45 total pitches, 19 balls, and 26 strikes with 2 strikeouts. So our player of the game, Mustang player of the game, is brought to you by Transwest Chevrolet Buick, serving Northeast Colorado, now located in Fort Morgan and Sterling. Stop by and take a test drive. They have a great selection of new and used vehicles, or browse our website, transwestchevroletbuick.com. So I think we will go with Bobby Tolson, as this has been his best outing of the year so far, as he holds Conifer scoreless in the 12-0 win. Also for the Mustangs, we'll just get over some Jacob Ortega with 3 RBIs, Isaac Linker with 2 RBIs for the Mustangs. Jacob Ortega did also score 2 runs. J.P. Hamer scored 3 runs. But all around, good game here for the Mustangs as they go to 7-3 now. Conifer drops to 4-7. The Mustangs will next be at, I believe they will be on the road next week. They will be at Arvada at 4 o'clock. John Beltran will have that game for you on, on the 11th, Wednesday, April 11th at Arvada. So good job today here by the Mustangs as they win at 12-0, and they will go on the road, as I said, April 11th to Arvada, and that will be a 4 o'clock first pitch for that game. So once again, a nice job by our sound engineer and producer for the Fort Morgan Mustangs baseball, and that's been Emily Hernandez. Nice job today by Emily. This has been Brian Nickel here at Legion Field. Once again, the Mustangs win it 12-0 here on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. Good afternoon, everybody.